Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Global Online University channel. And here we are with our next mock test series, that is mock test number 12 for UGC NTA NET 2020 paper 1 preparation, which will be consisting of 50 questions for 2 marks each. The unit which we have taken today is communication, and today I have focused on one book so that it will be easier for the students even if you do not have the books. This test series will help you out for the preparation. Before we start, there are certain rules of this mock test series. Rule number 1: whenever a question appears in front of you, you are supposed to pause the video, read the question, and answer the question on your own. I mean to say, try to answer the question. Even if you're not prepared, please ensure that you are doing self preparation or self appearance of for the test. At the same time, when the test ends, you have to note down your score and you have to put your score in comment box. It helps us to come up with your next test questions and give you a wide range of questions so that it will help you to prepare for your examination. Apart from this, we have a complete course for paper 1, which is consisting of 60 full syllabus test, full syllabus notes, video lectures, which you can get at Global Online University application. You have to download the application. We also have our WhatsApp paid group. The number is reflecting on the screen, and the fee for that is 999. We have our rapid batch, which is starting from 12th of April, which have already started from yesterday. So the same WhatsApp number you can ping and you can get the details about the same. So here comes the final slide before we go for your main slide of questions. So all the best. Okay, ensure that you're sitting in a place where you are not been disturbed for another 40-45 minutes, and you give your test with full trust and loyalty for your own self. So here comes our question number 1. When we say that communication is intentional, it means that sender consciously intends to affect the behavior of the receiver of the message. Effective communication is a process of acting on information through speech communication. People make sense of the world, none of the above. See, intentional, it means जो जानबूझ के किया गया है. So definitely none of the above नहीं होगा. Through speech communication, people make sense of the word no. Effective communication तो है नहीं. Sender consciously intends to affect the behavior of the receiver of the message. So this is what option number A is your right answer. Next, communication is transfer and understanding of what? Communication is a transfer and understanding of ideas, concepts, meanings, words. Now, I'll not be telling the answer. Maybe those who are pausing the video, or in case even if you're not pausing the video, we will directly see the answer in the next slide. Okay, so that it will help you to prepare yourself an answer before I answering the question. So, communication is what? Is it a transfer of idea, concepts, meaning, or words? So the answer is it is exactly the transfer and understanding of meaning. आइडियाज कंसेप्ट्स एंड वर्ड्स से ज्यादा सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट हमें क्या अंडरस्टैंड करना है? मीनिंग. अनलेस एंड अनटिल हमें ये मीनिंग नहीं पता, वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू गिव द फीडबैक, एंड दैट will not complete the process of communication. So meaning is very important. Which of the following can be termed as context of communication? Okay, so when we are talking about context of communication, so which among this will be termed as context of communication? Now, when I'm saying context of communication, it means you can tell it as circumstances, okay, or event, or a statement, or an idea. So, an interference with message reception, effective communication, verbal and non-verbal response to the messages, a physical and psychological environment of conversation. Now see what I have told you, context of communication. आपको ये पता होना चाहिए इसका मतलब क्या है. A circumstances, a statement, idea. So interference नहीं हो सकता है, effective communication नहीं हो सकता है, non-verbal and verbal and non-verbal responses नहीं हो सकते हैं. See, the answer here can be the 4, that is option number 4D, a physical and psychological environment for conversation. बिकॉज सिचुएशन सर्कमस्टेंसेस इससे ही डिपेंड होंगे ना. सो दिस इज दैट इज ऑप्शन नंबर डी इज द राइट आंसर. Yes. Which of the following is the Belrose linear model of communication? So when we talk about Belrose leader model of communication, now this model of communication has a mode of, I mean to say, a way of communicating. So now when we talk about this model of communication, it exactly start with what? It start with source. Okay, going on to the message. It's very simple, then coming to the channel, and then coming to the receiver. So it starts with what? It starts with source, it goes on to the message, it continues through the channel, and goes to the receiver. तो मैंने अभी दो बार repeat किया है, so it's clear that you must have understood what the answer is. So your answer, option number 2, that is source, message, channel, and the receiver is, is the right answer for this particular question. Okay, now when we talk about this model of communication, okay, it has actually 6 stages. Okay, that is the source, the message, the channel, and the, I mean to say, and the receiver. But apart from that, it also includes encoding and decoding part. Okay, so you can just keep this in mind. Agar question thoda twist ho gaya, so you can have the 6 stages. Ya to number yaad rakho. Okay. Next, who among the following has stated that people know each other and themselves through communication? So this is bit factual question. आपको इसका person याद रखना है. It's George Herbert Mead. So that is the right answer for this. The one who has stated that people know each other and themselves. यानी एक दूसरे और खुद को. It's inter and intra. कैसे पहचानते हैं? It's with the help of communication. और ये किसने बोला है? That is George Herbert. Then, uh, sorry, here I think this one slide is uh, not been printed. Okay, fine. We have to direct the sixth with an answer. So the ability to communicate effectively. Understand the options first of all. Answer you have, but why the others can't be an actual answer. So the ability to communicate effectively depends on level of education. It's a natural talent. It's always depend on the use of technology and can be learned. See, ability to communicate, natural नहीं हो सकता है. Okay, it cannot be, it's a natural talent, cannot be natural है, but cannot be learned, नहीं हो सकता है. You can learn at any point of time. Education से effectiveness in communication nahi hai. We have seen many many students who are the rankers, but they do not they fail to effectively communicate. So that is also not possible. Depend upon the use of technology. Never, we didn't had technology in earlier days, still we had people speaking and communicating effectively. So it is the only thing which can be learned. Okay, so the right option is option number D. So the slides were just interchange. Sorry for that. Next, if it is assumed that communication has no beginning or end, then it is termed as. उस communication के लिए start भी नहीं है, end भी नहीं है. It's like cyclic. तो mediation, process, interaction, transaction. Obviously, अगर उसका end नहीं है, तो it is called as what? It is called as process. So your answer number B option. Sorry, option number B is the right option. Then the essential components of communication are. Now यहाँ पे see, आपको तो components काफी अच्छे से पता है. Okay, but there they have given to confuse the things. See how they have just mixed up the things. तो आपको पता है source, message, interference, that is in the form of noise or obstacle, channel, receiver, feedback, and context, that is circumstances. तो ये हमने अभी पढ़ा है. Let's see the next option. Sign, source, destination. ये तो हमने नहीं पढ़ा है. So this cannot be an option. Sign, symbol, understanding, communication and communicant नहीं पढ़ा है हमने. Symbols, understanding, purpose, idea, non-verbal सिर्फ नहीं हो सकता है, verbal भी है, reaction. So this cannot be. So if you see, your option number A is the right answer. So you just have to alertly read the question and ensure that कि आप जो भी पढ़ रहे हो, आपने जितना भी आपके पास knowledge है, आप उसको use कर रहे हो. So that is very very important. Next question. A message can be deemed effective when good communication skills are used, repeated back as proof of understanding, understood by receiver and produces the desired response delivered in the interpersonal communication. So सिर्फ inter तो नहीं है, there are many. Repeated back as a proof of understanding, no. Good communication skills are used, no. It is basically that it has to be understood by the receiver and it has to produce a desired response जो हमें expected है. So here the answer is your option number C. Next, learning to communicate with others is a key to eliminating listeners' all psychological noises, never been misunderstood, establishing rewarding relationship, all the above. Okay, never been misunderstood नहीं हो सकता. It depends upon how the message is communicated. Eliminating listeners all the psychological noises, no, it's not possible. All the above नहीं होगा. So here the right answer is your option number C, that is to establish the rewarding relationship. It means in the form of networking. Next, during the communication process, the message is converted to a symbolic form called what? Decoding, encoding, dispersing, and expanding. So here I hope everyone knows this answer. So directly I will go to the answer only. The message is converted to the symbolic form. Message delivered नहीं हुआ है, सिर्फ उसको delivered होने के पहले जो conversion करते हैं, okay, that is I mean to say, we called it as what? We called it as encoding. पहले message को symbolic form से encode किया जाता है and then it is what? It is decoded. Okay. So now the next one. One's own description as a person. हम खुद को अगर describe करते हैं तो हम उसके क्या बोलेंगे? Self concept, self perception, self awareness, self respect. Okay, you should be aware of all those words. Okay, हम डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं, सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज व्हाट? इट इज कॉल्ड एज सेल्फ कंसेप्ट. इट्स सेल्फ कंसेप्ट. ओके, परसेप्शन इज एन ओपिनियन, अवेयरनेस हमें पता है, रिस्पेक्ट इज एस्टीम, विच वी आर डिस्क्राइबिंग, सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज सेल्फ कंसेप्ट. Next, which of the following term describes the communication between two people that involves sending and receiving? Two people. See, decoding encoding sender receiver से है, तो यहाँ पे two people तो involved नहीं है, तो ये तो cancel होगा. Transaction is a process, so it is called as was dyadic communication. Okay, see, this is very simple. आपको पता होना चाहिए. You don't have to waste. As I always keep on telling in my videos, you have a limited time for your paper one, okay, which you need to smartly ensure that you are using it in a very well defined manner. So such questions are very easy to crack, so you need to spend more on this. I mean to say, you need to spend less on this and go for a required questions a time. Next, uh, people who engage in frank and open expression of the feelings are considered as what? अग्रेसिव नहीं हो सकते हैं, फ्रैंक और ओपन दिया है, रूड नहीं हो सकते, इनकंसिडरेट नहीं हो सकते, which is called as assertive, it's called as affirmative. So the right answer is C. Next, a low context culture is one where most of the information is unspoken, most of the information is explicitly stated in a verbal message, most of the information is apparent, most of the information is non-existence. Okay, low context culture. Okay, I'll explain you the reason with the answer. The option is B over here. Now why? See, low context culture. Okay, most of the information is explicitly, that is directly stated in the verbal message. So यहाँ पे you don't have to, circumstances बहुत clear है, low है ना, so it's very clear. So you have to directly state it with the verbal message. Okay, when it is high context, now see the same question you have. So much of the information about the context or about the person, much of the information is spoken, most of the information use sign language, it is unspoken. Okay, high यानी आपको नहीं पता, so it is what? It is unspoken. High यानी आपको circumstances से assume करना पड़ता है, so it is assumed, so it's unspoken. Okay, सो लो, जस्ट मेक अ नोट. आपके पास अगर राइटिंग नोट्स, आपको मैंने जैसे बोला है, आई हैव ऑलवेज टोल्ड यू टू कीप अ राइटिंग नोट. सो व्हेन इट इज अ लो कंटेक्स्ट कल्चर, इट इज वर्बल, explicit, direct. When it is high context culture, it is it is non-verbal, it's unspoken, or it is implicit. So just make a note of it. Okay, now, the primary channels used by the individual to communicate with others: radio, television, no; email, no; tone of voice, no; it is eyesight and sound. Okay, that is how we communicate. So the right answer is eyesight, sight, and sound. Then, Encoding is important to encourage feedback, eliminate noise, produce messages, and ensure decoding of message. Why we do encoding? So that, it helps to what? It helps to produce messages. That's the reason we are doing encoding. Okay. It helps to give you the right message or produce the right message. Next, which of the three components are the part of human communication process? Message recording feedback, noise feedback jargon, message noise feedback, feedback message critiquing. Okay, now यहाँ पे तो आपने पढ़ा है this very well. Recording नहीं आता है, jargons we don't have, critics we don't have. So it is option number C. So this also has to be very quick. So option number C is your right answer. Next, words are connotative, denotative, symbols, unnecessary. We have just seen that words are nothing but they are sound sites, that is symbols. So the right answer is symbols. Okay. Now, emoticons are what? Emotional confidence, especially expressive bodily gesture nahi hai. We know emoticons are not body gestures, not a conference also. Emotional queries, hey, nahi, these are not at all related. They are the type symbols, emojis, which we call that communicate facial expressions. So the right answer is D. Next, in communication process, to encode means to translate the idea into code, to interpret a code, to block a pathway between a sender and a receiver, to speak to a large group. This and this cannot be an option. Now you have to decide. I have already given you a 50-50 option. Translate ideas into a code or interpret a code. So encoding, it means to translate idea into a code. Now see, this type of question came in 3 to 4 different patterns to confuse you. So you have to be very, very careful when encoding is a symbol which is, converted in the form to produce a message. That's how, all the 4 questions I have put in one. So it is basically translate the ideas into code. Then a person is likely to use eye contact while listening, uninterested in communication, speaking, interpreting. So basically, eye contact is used for attentive listening. So your right answer is listening. Okay. Next, feedback is a situation in which the sender and the receiver exchange information confined to verbal form, confined to written form, none of the above. आपको पता है फीडबैक सबके लिए होता है, नॉन वर्बल है, वर्बल, सो सिर्फ वर्बल नहीं होगा, सिर्फ रिटर्न नहीं होगा, none of the above नहीं है. So your right answer here is a situation in which sender and the receiver exchange the information. Okay, the right answer is option number A. Next, listening to said to be adversely listening is said to be adversely affected by. So here it is a little bit grammatical error. It should be listening is said to be adversely affected by what? Speaker's fast delivery, yes, isse ho sakta hai. Message loaded with too much of information, yes. Improper selection of use of media, yes. So all above. So in सबसे listening affect ho sakta hai. So the answer is what? Answer is all above. Okay. Next, which of the following terms is closely related to feedback? Okay, now that is brainstorming. Okay, next is heuristic. Then we have cybernetics. Okay, and then we have is next is a none of above. So when we are talking about cybernetics, it is it's nothing but it is called as a circular causality or a feedback process where the outcome of the actions is comes out. So cybernetics is nothing but it's a word or term related to feedback. Okay, just make a note of it. This very uncommon form of question, you may get it in any way. Okay, then feedback is a listener's verbal critique of your message, acceptance of a message, verbal and non-verbal response, and aversion to a message. So here if you see the answer is already written, it is nothing but it is called as what? It is called as aversion. Okay, it's nothing, it's like a strong disinclination or a dislike. Okay, so this is answer is D over here. Next, when we try to organize details in our mind, we are seeking to produce new ideas, process complex information and categorize it, categorize difficult and easy piece of information, process simple information and categorize it. When we organize details in our minds, okay, what do? what we do is, okay, where we produce new ideas, it's not possible. Okay, where we process complex information into and then categorize it, it's difficult. It is not nearest. Okay, categorize difficult and easy pieces of information, or process simple information and categorize them. So here the right answer is process complex information. Okay, I mean to say, when you segregate those complex information and then you categorize into simple form. That is the right answer. That is option number B. Okay. Next, to decode a message is to evaluate a message, translate ideas into code, reject a message, or interpret a message. So decode, that is nothing but it is called as what? Interpret a message. You're interpreting. Encoding, it means you're producing a message. Decoding, it means you're interpreting a message. Okay. A message is a signal that serves stimuli, that is response for a sender, for a receiver, stimuli for a mass audience, or a noise reduction. A message is a signal for whom? कौन दे रहा है? Sender. So obviously it is a signal for whom? It's a response for whom? It's a response for the receiver. So the right option is option number B. The objective definition of a word is indirect meaning, connotative meaning, denotative meaning, or direct meaning. So the objective definition of a word. So word, it's nothing but denotative, denoting. Okay, it denotes. It is direct. Okay, so it is a word has an objective of a direct. It always have a direct meaning. Okay. Now here the option should be indirect. Okay, here there is a small this, it is indirect, it's not, because denotative itself is called as direct meaning. So here just make a correction, your option will be indirect. Okay. uh, Indirect is already given, connotative, denotative. Yes, so here it will be uh, so I mean to say, if such option comes, so definitely first you'll give preference to denotative meaning, that is that's what we have in the syllabus. So that is denotative meaning, not direct first, it is denotative meaning. Okay. The subjective meaning of a word, subjective, there are two questions. One is subjective, one is objective. So the subjective meaning is called as what? The subjective meaning is called as connotative word, which are implicit. Okay. Whereas there is, I'll just take you to the next direct question. Okay, I'll come to it later, but I just don't want to break your link. Okay, sorry for that. Which of the following steps would you consider first for an effective communication? That is, select the channel, plan the evaluation, specify the objective, identify various media for communication. So according to you, okay, what you feel is the effective first step for effective communication. So here the right answer is to specify the objectives of the communication should be the effective step for the communication. Okay. Next, effective listening includes filtering our points of disagreement, detail analysis, attaching subjective meaning to a message, confirming one understanding of a message. See, filtering, you can't do it. Detail analysis depends upon what circumstances it is. Attaching subjective meaning, it can't be. It has to be understanding of a message, the confirmation of one's understanding of a message. So that is the right answer. Next, which of the following explains feedback? Nonverbal communication, environment noise, verbal and nonverbal responses, verbal communication only. So if you see the options over here, and if you understand the right answer, see, nonverbal and verbal, individually they are not an environmental noise. So definitely the right answer is verbal as well as non-verbal messages or responses are a part of what? Feedback. Next. Now this, if you remember, we have done these questions. Again, I have included in the today's mock test also together so that it will be easier for you to remember. For which of the following talks about chromics? Chronomics, that is nothing but it talks about smell. Sorry, it talks about time. Okay, the right option is time. Next is, in communication process, a receiver is a channel. He decodes the message, is the person who encodes the message, is responsible for message interferences. Okay, in a communication process, a receiver is one who decodes the message, decodes. Okay, sender is the one who encodes a message. Okay, so just keep this in mind. These are all simple things, but you have to have a very fair, conceptually, you have to be very clear with the things in order to have a right answer. Next, an example of a communication channel will be noise, context, face-to-face conversation, or feedback. Channel. So noise is not a channel, context is not a channel, feedback is not a channel. So it is face-to-face conversation. That is your answer. Option number C is your right answer. Next, the way one interrupts information around oneself. Okay, always negative, always positive, related to one's values, beliefs, and past experiences, none of the above. So obviously, this will not come. Your right answer will be related to one's values, beliefs, and past experiences. Next, listening. See this answer again. This question again we got it for the second time. Maybe complex process involving too many steps. In ways it was given in a different. Okay, complex to organized form, and now here they have given complex to which involves many processes. Next, you have is one of the effective communication. One will be effective. Uh, one will be an effective communication if one is a humorous speaker, historic talents, is clear with what he wants to communicate, and communication is one's mother tongue. Definitely, these options are not nearest option. So your right answer is it's clear about what one communicates. The next question is, communication will be effective if it is delivered slowly and clearly, if it is delivered in a calm situation, if it receives the receiver, if it reaches the receiver completely, if it reaches the receiver as intended by the sender. Intended का मतलब है जैसे सोचा था. So obviously, it's option A, B, and C is does not complies to the question. So it is A, B, and D does not complies to the question if it reaches the receiver completely. That is completely the way it has been, framed. Okay, not an incomplete message. So your right option is option number C. Next, a technique that might be used by an active listener is to paraphrase the speaker's meaning, express concern, explain the speaker's meeting, offer a viewpoint when in conversation. So a technique that might be used for an active by an active listener. So that is paraphrase the speaker's meaning. Okay, specify or clarify the meaning given by the speaker. Next, effective listening includes filtering of the points, detail analysis, attracting subjective meaning to the message, or confirming one's understanding of a message. It's about what? It is option D, that is, you have to confirm the understanding of the message. So, option D is the right answer. Next, a classification of body movements. Where we studied chronomics, it's time, body movements is kinesis. Okay, so the right option here is option number D, that is kinesis. Next, movements of the face that convey emotional meanings are movements of the face, displays, emblems, eye contact, or none of the above. So that is what which is one displays the movements of your emotionally. So what is displayed is is the moment of the face. So the right answer is option A. Touch is an important element of what? Business communication, interpersonal, intra, or none of the above. None of the above will not come. Intra is single, no. Business, no. So it is basically between two people. So touch is an important element of interpersonal communication. That is your option B is the right answer. Next, while which of the following parts are of active listening? Eye contact, yes. Nodding, yes. Seeking clarification, yes. So answer comes to what? All the above. So that your answer for the right question for this question is all the above. An effective communication, here it is effective communication does not require change in speech pattern, appropriate gestures, mastery of content, handsome personality. Definitely it does not. So it is handsome personality. That is your option number D. Okay. And the last question for the day, effective communication will make the receivers enjoy it, accept it, pass it or think about it. If your communication is really effective, it will help the communicator, the receivers think about it, okay, analyze it and understand the meaning. So here, this was the last question for the day. I'm extremely sorry for the day because there was some technical setup error in the setup of the slides. So next time I'll just be a bit careful. I couldn't find it. So just next time, so that, because the answer immediately comes in front of you, you don't get time to think. So next time I'll just be careful with this arrangements of the slides. Maybe it was some technical glitch, which next time will be taken care of. So thank you everyone. Plus do please do comment your scores in the comment box, and ensure that you have seen all the earlier mock test series also, and you're preparing your level best for the upcoming examination. Time is less, but still we are trying our level best. In this less time, we can give you the maximum benefit to the channel and help you to prepare well and well for your upcoming examination. Thank you everyone. See you in the next test series. Thank you.